Hello, my name is Shadley, and welcome back for another episode of Colombian Space Initiative in Supreme Ruler Ultimates. And in previous episode there was a bit of a war happening in China, and looks like Japanese have indeed, well, they're still outside of Beijing. There's probably a decent bit of troops in there that are holding them at bay. Also, the Russians declare war on the Japanese. But now we have enough cash to buy some tech from the United States, so we'll do that. At the same time, I have lowered the taxes once again. It's now down to 30%. It does mean that our approval rating is pretty high. I've increased the funding for education a little bit. That is probably going to drop down the number of births a little bit. But at the same time, the immigration is growing like crazy right now. So I think we can, well, at least, not maybe crazy, but it is growing quite significantly. So we can keep on the population increase that way. And, yeah, we should be able to get a bit more. I mean, now that we got the... Oh, right. Molecular biology, that didn't actually unlock anything directly. Once we get the improved plastics, though, that's going to unlock the electronics, which, damn, is it expensive, though. I suppose we could start saving up the cash for it. Not that it's going to be easy, necessarily, but... Yeah, I suppose we could start saving up the cash, and now that we've built up the supply depot over there, we don't need to be there anymore. We could move down that way. How are we doing in terms of electricity? Still selling a tiny bit there. I believe, yeah, food is doing also fairly well. We've got plenty of coal. Oh, right, because that does increase the supply levels in here, and that has increased the agricultural production as well. But yeah, I think the next thing that we need to start doing is saving up a little bit of industrial goods so we can get a retail lab essentially, or eventually. And secondly, to save up a little bit of cash to buy the basic electronics, because it's going to take forever for us to research that. So we kind of need it as quickly as possible. At the same time, we need money for that. Of course, one thing that I suppose I could do is increase our productions. At the same time, we're not doing all that strong in terms of our unemployment. It's a bit too low right now for my taste, so I'm going to let that start climbing. Actually, I'm going to move these to get more construction done over here for more railways. Of course, that does mean that we'll be using some of the industrial goods for that. Right, so what I think I'm going to do is we're going to build transport. We're going to build only 2 hexes first, so we can stay above the 10,000 tons of industrial goods, more or less. I mean, we will be, of course, using a fair bit of that, but I think we'll stay above 10,000 at least, and then we'll accumulate a little bit, and then we'll connect over there, and take it slowly. But eventually I do want to have a robust network of rails in here, because that is going to be good for industrialization. If it's in here, and I suppose I could train more engineers, because honestly, our military cost right now is very small. It's less than 300,000 per day, and our daily budget is pretty decent. We are still making money over there, so how about, yeah, I'll just build another, I don't know, 7 engineers. So we can have one group focusing on the railway construction, another one can focus on building the industries around this region. And then the one that is doing the infrastructure over here will also improve the supply levels over there and eventually maybe build up more oil fields. I'm not entirely sure where did I have, I mean, if we have a look at the petroleum availability, there's a little bit extra over there, but that would require different or new complex over there. And we can't build them on the cities. So yeah, I mean, we could easily... Actually, I'm not entirely sure if we can even expand that. So there's not that many options right now, but we... Well, I mean, I suppose building one over there wouldn't be bad, because there's going to be some supplies over here anyway. Now, how well are these railways coming along? I think they should be pretty close, because we are closing on 10,000 tons of industrial goods. So once we get there, we'll probably just let them, well, we'll move them to the town over there, actually. But we'll have to, I believe they are completed now. Let's go over there. Right, so how much are we actually using military goods per day? 2 tons. Not too much. Inflation is slowly climbing down again. But we are, of course, making a decent bit of cash from, well, mostly oil and consumer goods. Now, early synthetic fuels, what would you want from that? 200... Oh, there's another war. Soviet Russia declared war on Sweden. Oh no. Oh no. I think Soviet Russia is going to get declared by, I don't know, Germany probably. And then we have pretty much World War I starting. But yeah, I reckon that the price for industrial or military goods is going to start skyrocketing a little bit here. Also, the industrial goods, I could start selling those, but at the same time, I think we need to save up that. I think that's... Ooh, timber price has gone up. We're actually making a little bit of money out of that. Okay. We're selling most of that. We are gathering a small stockpile nonetheless. Well, I suppose I could increase that. Not that I necessarily need to. Minimum price $8 is probably just fine. Right then. So that's the troops over there. I think I'm going to get to 100 million before I start. Or 100 million plus whatever it's going to be to build our next project. Which I'm not actually entirely sure what it is going to be. Increasing consumer goods production would certainly help. At the same time, our unemployment is still a bit too low. So we're just going to have to wait for more population to move in. And there are a lot of people moving in, that's for sure. Especially with the lower taxes, that is helping a long way. Also, the fact that we got the domestic electric price at $30 does help a little bit. Right, so plastic is... Ooh, that's going to take a while. We really need to get another research lab, or research center, whatever it's called. Yeah, research center. Because that's going to allow us to research so much quicker. At the same time, we need to have a bit more robust economy to be able to build those in sufficient numbers. So here's what I'm thinking. How much... We've still got plenty of rubber. We've got a pretty good supply of industrial goods, but I think... How much does it cost to build one of these? 18,000 tons. I'm going to let it accumulate a little bit, although, well... Oh, let's increase the minimum price of sales over there. Not that we are selling any anyway. Increase that a little bit. So there's still good availability of industrial goods for the time being. I'm pretty sure that it will change rather soon. Okay, so actually the amount of money per ton of consumer goods has actually gone down a little bit. Now down to 1,180 or something like that. Somewhere around there, but yeah, it's not quite as good as it used to be. No, actually, that... right. All the techs that we were going to buy from the United States are going to be expensive, and I did say that I want to save up for the... Also, who was Port Arthur? Oh, it is actually Japan. Alright then, there's some German holdings over here, of course, because we did start on the 1914 start. And that is where... Ooh, okay, there's a fair bit of battle around here for the area. I think the Japanese have a lot of troops in here, so they don't have the supplies, so they're losing control of a lot of places. Whereas the Soviets are somehow managing to keep things under control, for the most part. I mean, they still have a lot of this area, even though they have no supplies in there. They're still shuffling around. At the same time, the enemy doesn't have much there either. So how is Sweden doing? Oh, not well. Not well at all. Alright then. If we have a look at Soviets... Oh, there goes Sweden. Just witnessed that. Okay, so Sweden was the first to fall. Did not see that coming. So I wonder who they are trying to take over next. Now, they have a lot of long border with the Germans in here. How have the Germans been got? Oh, tax 36. Okay, well that's a bit early, isn't it? Right, so we've got 124 million. We are starting to get some of the engineers here. Put you construction over there. Right, so if we have a look, has that improved at all? No, not really. Well, the military goods we'd be getting still about 2,000 per ton sold. So we might want to get another one of these, but how much would that cost? Oh man, 200 million. 75,000 can... Ooh, yeah. That might be... I think it's going to be much cheaper investment to increase the production of consumer goods. Because that seems to be... If we can lower our unemployment, or increase our unemployment rather, lower the inflation, then we might be able to get a decent bit out of that. Or improve the profit margins there a little bit once again. At the same time, how much... It does cost a fair bit to build the supply depot over there, but that might not be a bad idea. So how about I just move you down to do construction over there instead? How much do we have? 16,000 tons. And if we were to build... Let's go through the industrial this time, just for the heck of it. Right, so supply depot, it requires 3,000... So we got the industrial goods easily, even if we want to keep the stockpile of at least 10,000 tons of industrial goods. But the total cost of this is rather massive, so we might go below 100 million right now. I suppose I'll build that. That will increase the production of gas, or petroleum rather, and that way we can get a bit better amount of sales going, because that will also lower the unemployment once again. So we do need to be a bit careful with that. Also, how is the education rating doing now? It's 76.8%. If we have a look at the literacy rating is 90%, and the amount of birth has gone down. Immigration has gone down a little bit as well. Death has gone down. Immigration, on the other hand, has started growing. So I'm not entirely sure if the immigration can keep up with the births quite yet, but I'm sure that eventually that will turn out to be fairly good. In the meanwhile, plastics is still 550 days away. My goodness. But yeah, I think 1930 I will put the volatility of the world down to low again and see where it goes from there. If all the wars stop at that point, then I might increase it to medium again. We'll need to keep an eye on it. Now, have we gotten any more engineers yet? Nope. We are going to get one in 26 days. Okay, well that's a bit further than I expected. Right, there's actually... Well, we got a decent bit of money out of coal, well, not so much in timber or electric power, but at least agriculture and coal are providing a decent bit of compared to how cheap the resources are. Military goods has increased, 300,000 almost. If we could get another military goods factory, it's just very expensive. But if we could get one of those, then we'd be increasing that profit margin quite a bit. But on the other hand, the petroleum sales, once we increase that, will help a long way. And how are we doing in terms of industrial goods over here? The fact that we're not selling any, we don't necessarily want to increase that too much, because otherwise it's just going to be extra cost for our, or extra weight for our economy basically to haul over, or haul with. Right, so, it's 5 more days and we get the supply depot, and then it's going to take a couple more days until the gas fields over here are producing what they can. But if we have a look at the current numbers, 61,700 barrels of oil per day. It's a decent amount. Now I'm pretty sure that... Yeah, there's a fair bit of trades there. Okay, now it's down to 60,000. Well, almost 61,000 still. Okay, so we got that. Let's have a look. How well is it going to start growing? That was 51. Okay, 62,000 barrels. Supply's now 50. Okay, so it's going a bit up and down. Not sure, we might be reaching 63,000 barrels per day. Yeah, we did. Okay, so pretty decent amount of money there, that's for sure. And how much are we making from the sales now? 700,000, so it's actually not that much more. And it probably increased the cost a little bit. Of course, that did lower our unemployment, so that is probably why it's causing the problem there. Population is 6.1 million now. That's pretty decent. There is certainly a pretty good growth going on. Now, how are the Japanese and the Russians doing over here? There's not much happening there. On the Chinese front, there's also not that much happening. I'm guessing the... Okay, yeah, there's still pretty good profit margin on the military goods. Wait, what are we using it? Oh, military use a little bit there because we were moving our troops, I guess. That would make sense. Or maybe we just got a new engineer unit. Well, or both. I think it's probably both. Oh, actually, no, it was just a new unit. Okay, so these we can probably move down there again. How are we doing in terms of industrial goods? We've got 16,000. I'm gonna let that accumulate a little bit, just so that we'll eventually have the goods to build more new things. But I think I'll increase the railway over here a little bit. We'll go down that way and there. Connection there. Yeah, slowly but surely we'll get to Barranquilla. And we can start building up this area as well a little bit. I think it would be a good idea. Now, how are we doing in terms of... Oh, approval rating 31.6. That's not too bad. Of course, there's still quite a bit of time until the next elections. It's going to be done in October 1929. I'm sure that we can win that election, no problem there. So we've got 71% supply over there. That's actually pretty good. 78 over there, 75, 86. Okay, so it's actually more supplies coming from here than from there. But, oh, in casualties to war, oh no. Okay, well, Germany and Russia are now at war. Who could have seen that coming? I'm a bit curious, and what is that going to do for the military goods price there? Because I'm reckoning, or reckon it's going to be quite a bit more demand there. Let's actually have a look at the market a little bit there. So, Germany, how much are you demanding? 11,000. Russia's demanding 9,000. 45,000 for Japan. Oh my goodness. China is only a few thousand. Okay. Now the next question is, who's going to declare war on Germany? Because of this, or is it just going to be everyone against the communists? That's a possibility. Now they do have a pretty high population, 200 million. Because it is a vast country. We've got a little bit ways to go to reach them. And I don't think we will, but I think we can probably get to like 20 or 30 million by the end. Especially once we get a bit better quality on the various, like healthcare and stuff, a lot of social services basically. Then that will start increasing the amount of people moving in, and I think there are ways to improve the health as well. Oh, there are some techs that will also kind of help in getting the ratings up. And therefore, either you can get better ratings, or you can then lower the funding a little bit and save a lot of cash that way, and still get the same results. Alright, so in terms of not electricity, research, we're still pretty much stagnant. I wonder if there would be any resources over here that we could buy. Synthetic fuels is still probably too much. Monoplane construction too much. Engine theories we might be able to get soon. Armored cars? Maybe. Analog fire control, that is certainly something that we could do. 140 million. I know that I was saving money for the basic electronics, but we still got quite a bit of time to actually get to that. Okay, they want an extra million. Fine. But yeah, trying to keep the good relations with the United States is probably important. I mean, I could start funding a little bit to keep the relations with them even better, and that would... actually... No, it's going to be a steady cost. I will start doing just that. So we'll support the government. I'm going to pause that for a quick moment, and then what I'm going to do is... I'm going to have to lower... Well, once we actually can start lowering these fundings, I'm going to do that. Actually not that bad. Because when I'll lower it down to like 100... or maybe 250,000 per day. That should be alright. And if we can increase their opinion of us, that means that we'll be able to get better deals with them. They'll probably be more willing to sell various techs for us. So in the long run, it will be very profitable. And at the same time means that they're much less likely to declare war on us. Not that we'll be a primary target anyway for anyone, but you never know. The AI is sometimes a bit random. Ooh, the Germans have gotten up to Riga already. And they're taking most of, well, most of Western Poland anyway. Although they did start with some of that, but yeah, they're also almost at Warsaw. I wonder if Austro-Hungarian troops, they are allied to Germany and Italy. Are you allied to Germany and Italy? Yes, you are. Oh, okay. Not Germany. Germany and Austro-Hungary. Italians are allied to Italians. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, Tianjin has been retaken by the Chinese. Actually, no, I don't think they lost that. They did lose this, but they did manage to now link up over there, so they might be retaking that. That's going to be interesting, but at the same time, I reckon that the... Oh, wow, that's a mess. The Japanese troops have been left in there without supplies. Alright then. Looks like the Soviets are taking a little bit back. Well, actually, that might still be just a lack of supplies, really. There's a little bit over there. If they can retake this area, or not retake, take that area, then support activities are continuing. Good. Still neutral in terms of the relations with the United States, but I think we can get pretty good relations with them over time. And we can probably get techs like half the price that they cost for us to research them. Probably should have started that a long time ago. I mean, it's not going to be too big of an issue or expenditure that it would cripple our income or anything like that. But it will certainly allow us to get a lot of things from them. I mean, actually, there might be some things from them that we'll need anyway at some point. Okay, well, at least petroleum isn't one. I mean, I suppose they don't produce rubber. Like, maybe something like agriculture, it could be... Oh, actually, they are one of the top importers of agriculture, never mind. And I think petroleum, they are the top exporter, though. By quite a bit. There's Venezuela, Mexico, and Soviet Russia. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure that at some point we do want to increase our petroleum production even further, but right now it's not too big of a deal. How much do we have? We've got 22,000 tons of industrial goods. That's not too bad. I think for the next episode I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I'll probably build a bit more of the line over there. We'll try to get to the improved plastics. So yeah, it's going to take a while, but it's alright. And I'll try to keep an eye on what's going to happen in Europe and Asia. And if there's something interesting happening, then that is also a point where I will be bringing back. But we're not quite done for this episode yet, so we'll just keep on going. Now, to be fair, if we have a look at our income, it's still pretty much the same amount of money from the sales, although consumer goods sales have gone down a little bit, or the money from them. I'm not entirely sure if it's because the price of consumer goods has been going down. Not really. Because we are selling a bit less, I think. I mean, population has been increasing and all that, so I suppose it makes sense. Oh, yeah, it's closing, well, still pretty far, but it is slowly closing up on 6.2 million, so yeah, it's doing fairly well there. How much are we? Okay, so we've got about half of our military personnel are active, and half are in reserve. Alright then, and okay, so now we are spending more than 300,000 per day for our military, but it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So for selling things, I think military goods would be good, but it's just a huge investment at start. So I don't think we want to do that. We could start selling some industrial goods, I suppose. And start increasing the production values in there. So how about we do that? I'm going to start selling like just 10% to get started with, because there seems to be some decent profit out of that. It's 1,000 per ton of profit per the sales there. I mean, we're not selling massive amounts by any means, but yeah, it should be still pretty decent increase in money there over time. I mean, we can easily increase the production of industrial goods. I just want to be able to... Actually, how much do we need to make that? Is it... Yeah, it's 34,000 tons. So once we get to like 50,000 tons in industrial goods, we'll probably start building one of those. But that is going to have to be probably between the episodes, actually, or during the next episode, somewhere around there. Since we are out of time for the episode now, and if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And okay, sorry. Let me try that again. So, thank you all for watching, and how can I... Oh, crap. Okay, just thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.